Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, June 10th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do the absolute most every day, all day, every day. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so if you'd like to go follow me over on there, that would be wonderful. But of course, you can follow me on any of the other places as well. I will hopefully link all the things that I talk about in this show, episode, whatever, in the show notes. There's that word. Which is on my blog. So if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog is down below, or if you're on my blog, everything is really there. In addition to that, I also work at a yarn store. It's called The Modern Skein in Montgomery, Texas, and I will include all of the social media, the website, all that jazz, so you can go and find the address or whatever if you want to come and hang out with us. If you are local, we would love to see you and knit with you or craft with you or whatever, or if you are not, then we have an online store and you can look at our beautiful Instagram and stuff like that. So all of that will be included if you are interested. I have a lot of knitting to show you. I have a languishing whip already for June, which is wonderful. I feel like I knock one out really quickly at the beginning, and then the last day of the month I will finish another one. We will see. We will see about that. But I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to show it to you. I am so happy with how it turned out. And we're not going to talk about it in the intro because this is the intro. This is not the actual episode. Anyway, what else do I have to talk about? I have some books. I feel like I do. I don't remember if I do. I also have a TV show recommendation. So yes, I think that's it. I haven't done baking in a while, but that's okay. That's okay. So with that, if you would like to go grab something tasty to drink today, I have tea, and it's actually a much cuter mug. I'm going to turn it around so you guys can see it without burning myself, because I do have very hot tea. That's not going to work. Let's continue to talk while I turn this around. So if you want to grab something tasty to drink, or craft upon, or a snack to enjoy, or laundry to fold, as we all do, and I will be doing later, because I always do laundry on Monday. It always happens after the podcast is filmed. So that's why I say I'm always folding laundry. Thankfully, the kitty litter has already been sifted, so I don't have to do that today. It's great. Here is my cute mug. It's of a cat and a sheep. They're knitting, crafting together, and they're talking about yarn. And there's a mouse holding the sheep's ball of yarn. And there's also a cup of tea. This mug is from Knit Picks. I don't know if they still have this mug, but it's super cute. Yes, my tea is hot. Yes, it is incredibly hot outside, but I just really wanted some hot tea, okay? Just really wanted it. Anyway, so with that, or an animal to snuggle, that is also a very good idea, if for the things for you to enjoy this episode. So with all that being said, you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. Oh, that is so good. Oh, that's so good. Oh, wow. That's good. So everyone, today has been quite a busy day, and not a super fun busy day. It's been really full of adulting things, and that's really hard sometimes. That's not always fun. It had, not everything has been a bummer, but there was one really big thing that happened this morning that was just that's sad. There were tears. I cried. And I'm making this out to be very dramatic, and it's actually not that dramatic. But today we said goodbye to my car. We signed papers and passed the title over to the people, so it's no longer my car, it's gone. I saw it for the last time today, and that was sad. And I know it's just a car, and I like don't know anything about cars. But I do know that that was my car, and I drove it through college and like the beginning of our marriage. And so like there are memories in that car. We moved to Dallas and to Houston in that car. So it's sad that it's gone, and that's okay. You know what? There's a new car in my future. I don't know what it is exactly, but there is a new car, hopefully soon, and that car will have just as many good memories within it as my old one did. But it's still sad, and life is life. So that happened early this morning because my husband was leaving for a business trip, and there's just a lot going on, and I had to do the regular stuff like getting groceries, and I had to drop off a package, and I needed to do the laundry. And I also wanted to work out because I knew that would make me feel better, so I did. I'm glad I did. Because I wasn't going to, and then I decided that I really needed to do that. So and now I have something in my eye. But yes, so this is why we have a very pretty bare face today and unwashed hair up in a bun. But if you wear a comfy t-shirt and throw on some fancy earrings and maybe a little mascara, you're good to go. You look like you've actually put in a lot of effort, when in actual fact, you really haven't. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to this, so this is why I'm bearing my soul to you all, because I know that I'm not the only one. But it was really truly amazing what putting on a pair of fancy earrings can do. Like it just makes me feel very sophisticated, and like I do look like I have it all together, but I don't actually. Actually, excuse me. It doesn't look like I was crying over losing my car this morning, or the fact that I was dripping sweat about 3 hours ago in my workout class. And we're getting groceries in my workout clothes, because why not? Anyway, these are the very little details of my life that I don't know if anybody's really that interested in, but it's a big deal for me, and I wanted to share it with you, and also acknowledge the fact that it's okay to not be perfect all the time. And it's okay to record a podcast with just mascara and maybe a little bit of concealer. That's okay. That's fine. There is nothing wrong with people who want more than that and do that all the time. That, like, props to you for doing that. But that was not me this morning. Or today, because it's later in the day. What time is it? It's 2:30. I have eaten and I have showered, so that's good. Anyway, so we had a little life update. I hope you enjoyed that. Story time. I'm sure you'll hear more about our car saga as it progresses. We hope to go car shopping a week from today. So that's insane. That's just very overwhelming. But, you know, it'll be fine. It's a step-by-step thing. It's really not that bad. If you just take it one step at a time, it's not as overwhelming. We did the hard thing today. I think that was the hardest thing for me, just saying goodbye to my car and it being seeming very final, and it wasn't a fun feeling. But that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, let's stop talking about sad stuff. Let's talk about knitting, because that is so much more happy. I have worked on a lot of stuff. I have let's see what to talk about. I have finished one languishing whip. I have worked on one languishing whip. I have frogged and recast on one languishing whip. I've worked on a new item, and by new, I cast it on last week. And then I also have yarn for a new project that my mom and I are going to be doing, and I'm very, very, very excited about it. So, how do we want to talk about this? I don't know. What order should we discuss this in? Should we do the finished object first? It's huge, and there's a bunch of ends, and I'm almost positive they're going to get in my tea. I think it's time to take a tea break, even though I've only been talking for 10 minutes. Probably even 5 since the last time you saw me take a sip of my tea, but we're going to take one anyway, because I can do what I want. Take this moment, go fold some shirts, or socks, or whatever, because I would be procrastinating folding my laundry. I did good. I did a good job making this cup of tea. Oh. There's something so comforting about a hot beverage. I don't know what it is. It's like a warm hug. Oh, I love warm beverages, even if it's hot outside. Even if it's hot outside. We're supposed to be having a cold front right now, and though the temperature may be reading as if we're having a cold front for June in Houston, so it's reading around 87, 88, it still feels like it's 102 because of yay humidity. That being said, there was like a cool breeze this morning, so there was that, but it's still, cold front didn't really do anything. If anything, it just made the number temperature thing look better, so we would feel better about ourselves, but it actually wasn't that cold because it's June in Houston. Can we believe it's week 2 in June already? That's crazy. I know that it's not technically the first full week. Is it the first full week? Yeah, it totally is. I'm confused. Yes? We're decently into June. Let me just say that. Okay, anyway, time flies. That's my point. Anyway, okay, so story time, because we haven't had enough of those already. Before we even get into showing you guys any kind of knitting, I do apologize. If you have been following this podcast for a long time, so back when we were living in Dallas, like that was 2017, you would probably be familiar with this item. So it's been on the needle since then. I don't remember when exactly it was. I think it was maybe March. Maybe it was May. Maybe June? I don't know. This was Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along for 2017. It was the Marled Magic shawl. And I pulled all of my scraps together, and I pulled from them. And as I was working on it, I was like, this looks absolutely terrible. I hate this. I don't like my colors. I think I was also just really envious of everybody else's because I loved how everyone else's was looking, and I didn't really like mine all that much. And so I was like, I don't really want to finish this. I don't know how I feel about it. And so it remained in its box with all of these scraps for 2 years. Not quite 2 years, but a year and like a half or something like that, depending on when I started it. And so for whatever reason, I don't know why. Oh, we were gonna go over Finished Languishing Whips. I'll get that book later in this episode. Anyway, sorry, side note. So, hello. I have a text message. So I, for some reason, just decided that this was gonna be one of my big languishing whips that I wanted to get done. I didn't know how much I had to do left. That was grammatically incorrect. Needed to do the ending, whatever, you know what I mean, like how much knitting was left. And so I pulled it out. It was on Chowgu needles, which I didn't even realize that I had them back then, but I did, which made finishing it very pleasant. So that was good on me back then. I'll pat myself on the back for that. And so I pulled it out and I was looking at the pattern and I realized I only had literally half of the final section left to do. If even half. Maybe like a fourth of the final section to do. And it was like, why did I not finish this before? Why? Why was I not? Why? Anyway, so I finished it, and then it took me about 3 days, maybe 4, to do the I-cord bind off around the entire thing. Everybody, that, like, the I-cord bind off around the vertices unite is long, but this is even longer. Even longer. And granted, I realize I still haven't shown it to you, and I do apologize. Granted, every time I started working on it, Birdie, my cat, would come and nest upon it in however it was laying on my lap. And so what I would have to do is remove some of it from underneath his little fuzzy butt and put it out on the couch where I was sitting, because it is big enough to do that, and he would nest on that while I would continue to work on the rest of it. Does that make sense? So that was like it was very time consuming. It really put a damper on my progress. But he's just so cute, I can't say no to his little fuzzy face. He had a bath the other day. Sam gave him a bath while I was at work. And I got some very cute pictures. Anyway, so without further ado, everybody, this is going to be massive, and I'm really terrified about my tea. But we're just going to go with it. So this is my Marled Magic shawl by Stephen West. Wow. Whoa! It's blocked. None of the ends are woven in. But I did do the little French braidy thing. Where is it? There it is. Do 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 do. So there's the one side, here's the other side. Still no ends in my tee. So we're doing great. Do 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 do. Okay, so, like, there's no possible way I can get this all in one shot. It's just too big. Hello. So this is really fuzzed up my hair. Let's move those down. This is technically a DK weight shawl. And it is that because you're holding 2 strands of fingering weight together through the entire thing. And so it's just it's a heavy shawl. It's very much a schlanket, excuse me, which is, if you're unfamiliar with that term, it is a ball, what? It is not a ball, it's a shawl and a blanket. There we go. A schlanket, therefore we have a schlanket. And finishing it, I love this thing. Like, I'm so happy with my color choices. So I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I realize it happens that, like, if you're working on something for a really long time and you're just sick and tired of working on it and you're like, I hate this, I don't want to look at it anymore. And that's probably what the case was. But I'm so happy with it. Like, I think I did, not to toot my own horn, but I think I did a beautiful job. And I'm so happy with it. And I can't wait to, like, wrap up on the couch and, like, wear it when it actually gets cold, and it'll be awesome. I'm super excited about it. And I even went the extra mile, and while I was finishing it, and while it was having a nice long bath, I made tassels! Like, so I don't even have to make anything else. Everything that needs to be done is just weaving the ends. And then it's done. Also take pictures, but we won't go there because we all know how I am about taking pictures. Oh, that just all fell on the floor. Oh well. So yeah, these are my tassels. I just I'm very proud of these tassels. I think they are quite fun. I'm very happy with my color choices. I would tell you what yarns I used in this shawl, but that would take all day, if not longer, because one, I don't remember everything, and two, it used like a very large portion of my fingering weight stash, which is great. I loved it. And as I was finishing it, I was like, oh man, this was a fun thing to knit. I would make another one. Which is funny, seeing as I was so sick and tired of it that I didn't finish it for a year and a half. And here I am today being like, let's cast another one on. I don't think that'll happen tomorrow, but I would like to make another one at some point, just because it was so much fun, and like the whole marling, fading thing is just, it's so much fun, and I'd really like to try and do one in a different color scheme, because this one are so my colors. Like, all of this are my colors, and it, excuse me, I keep getting stuff in my eye. It happened very, like, I did not plan any of this. I just reached for what I thought looked good with the yarn that I was still knitting with, and this is what it created. Like, this is just a big result of that. And yeah, I just think it would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a good color experiment. So yes, this is by Stephen West, if you were unfamiliar. It is not a hard knit, but I wouldn't say that it's an easy knit. There's brioche, there's some very odd construction, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Plus you knit it, I think the pattern calls for an 8, I knit it on a 9, just because I can. I don't know what I was thinking 2.5 years ago. I probably would have done the same thing today. So, I really enjoyed knitting it. If you are looking for a heavy schlanket by Stephen West that has some unique construction that will keep you not bored at all, then this would be a good one for you, for sure. Marled Magic Shawl by Stephen West is now complete. We have one very languishing finished object for June of 2019. Go me. Go me. I love this thing. I'm so excited to be able to wear it. And also I have these tassels, because who doesn't love a good tassel? I love tassels. This is any indication. I love tassels. Tea break. Time for tea break. So we are going to continue on with my current works in progress and show you the new yarn, and then we're going to go over the languishing whips, because I did go and get that notebook where I have all that information written down that I did, and it's very awesome. I'm very happy with how I'm doing. Anyway, so languishing whip. This is languishing as of December 2018. This is my advent calendar, living in this very cute little bag with a bell stitch marker, which is why it's making noise. It's very Christmassy, keeps me festive. This is my adventure cowl by Amba O'Brien. I am using the Suburban Stitcher, her advent calendar from last year. You can see I have made some progress. Last time I probably showed this to you, I was probably around here. So I have made progress. It's just, I don't know, it's like, I think the pattern's just really not grabbing me. Like, it is what it is. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it either. I feel like I've gotten the hang of it now. Might also be my needles, honestly. But I don't have empty ones currently to make this more pleasant. I've made progress. I also took the, oh, I guess the sheet is not in here. So her advent calendar was based off of Christmas movies, and what I did was I went through and marked or wrote like a keyword or something to help me remember which color belonged to what title, because none of them are in their packages anymore. And so, yeah. I did what I had to do. Now everything's like all labeled, and I will continue to make progress on this. I think this will be really fun to wear. I think obviously around Christmas time it'll be fun, but also even during the non-Christmassy months. It's very fun. We'll have a lot of ends to weave in, but that's okay. You know what? We can't avoid the ends. They will always be there, and they just have to weave them in. So yes, this is the Adventurer Cowl by Amba O'Brien. I'm using the Suburban Stitcher, her advent calendar from last year. Just making progress moving forward. I do apologize for this little bell if that bugs you. I do realize it could be kind of annoying. So, making progress on this, moving forward. So secondly is living in this super cute bag that a friend gifted me. I had seen she had a version of this that was white with a white background, and it was bigger, and so she remembered that I really liked that bag, and she found me the smaller one with the black background, and surprised me with it, and I thought that was so sweet of her. It's the perfect project bag, and also could be a really cute like beach tote because it's like a plasticky material. So in here is a old languishing whip that got frogged and turned into something else. So this used to be a Multnomah. That was going to be a store sample. I finished the garter stitch section, and I was starting with the feather and fan, and the pattern, like, it was probably just me, but I was very confused, and I didn't really want to make a sample of something with a pattern that was kind of confusing. So, and I wouldn't want to like tell people to go and make something that I had trouble figuring out. I'm sure it was just me, and it had to do with like placing markers and like, do you not place markers? Do you place markers? Do you move them? What section is what section? I was confused. I scoured Ravelry for information. I know there are so many people, like literally thousands of people who have made it no problem, but for some reason it just really wasn't clicking. And so I ditched that, and I'm now making the Reina Shawl, which is also a free pattern and much easier. We have garter stitch, and we have the mesh sections, which is just little eyelets you can see there. This has knit up so quickly. I feel like had I not worked on other things, I probably could have gotten it done in about 3 or 4 days. Yeah. It's very adaptable. It is a free pattern, so if you have, the free pattern doesn't change how much yarn you do or don't use, but you can use one skein, you can use more than one skein, you can use as much as you have, just as long as you have enough to cast off or whatever. Cast off in another color. Do whatever you want. I'm on the last mesh section, so that's very exciting. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. The pattern calls you to knit it on a 4. I am not doing that. I'm knitting it on a 6 because, again, I prefer my shawls to be knit at that gauge. That's just my personal preference. That's how I like my tension for shawls, on the 6. Also, I like knitting on 6s. Who doesn't? If you don't, that's okay. I won't judge you. All knitters are welcome here. So that's really exciting. I realized that though this was a languishing whip, and yes, it did get frogged, it doesn't really count. But I kind of want it to count. kind of want to make it count, just because I did cast it on right away, and I feel like that can apply. I don't know. So we'll see. But yes, the Reina Shawl by someone, I forget her name. What is her name? Also, whatever her name is her name not on here? Oh, Nora Livola? Nora Livola. This is a free pattern, like I said, so I don't feel bad sharing any of this with you. The way that she has it written, it is literally one page. It is amazing. And she's got all the written directions out of, like, repeat the garter stitch rows, like the 1 and 2 from like 29 to 32 or 33 to 48 or whatever. And granted, this makes total sense, and you could totally write it out on a sticky note. But she has these little check boxes, so you don't have to write it out. You can just check as you go, which I think is a brilliant idea. I love this. Plus, then you get the happy feeling of making the check, and you're like, oh, I'm making progress. This is a great pattern. I would definitely recommend this to any above scarf knitting knitter, or any advanced knitter, or any kind of knitter, really. It's very easy. It's very easy. And if you have that one skein of yarn that you really you don't know what to do with, but you want something kind of simple but with a little bit of interest, this is the perfect shawl. So, the Reina Shawl, would highly recommend. Yay. So, moving along into the new projects. I cast this on last week. This is my Ziggy shawl by Joji Locatelli. I'm knitting this out of Madeline Tosh on their new holographic base, and I know it's very hard to see that, but it's got holographic stellina. The color is called Star Snatcher. I think it's something like that. I think I see it tagged on it here. Star Scatter. I knew it was an S word. I keep getting it wrong. It's either been Stargazer, Star Watcher, Star Snatcher. It's Star Scatter. I'll get there eventually. So I don't know, it probably doesn't look like very much, but I have knit quite a few rows on the lace section. And I have my unicorn stitch markers, which are so cute. I feel like, so last week I talked about how Joji had written something so beautiful about like knitting and how that can be like self-care or just helping you calm down or just be peaceful or have that kind of like solidness in a time of very like unknown or whatever, which I feel like we are right now because I have a rental, but I don't actually have a car, and that's kind of scary. So, I say as I laugh nervously. But I feel like this project has been so amazing and so wonderful for, like, me knitting. And that's not to say that the other things I'm working on are not me knitting, because they are. They are for me. And I'm not gifting them to anybody, but I feel like for some reason this thing in particular, and just knowing this, like the inspiration and the story behind the pattern and the yarn and my needles and my bag and stuff like that, just makes it a very like a calm project for me. Does that make sense? Like it's a project that brings me peace, and I love that. And it's nice to be like, if I'm at work and I'm working on other stuff all day, or I'm working on languishing whips all day, and it's like, and I get home and I'm like, wow, I really should probably work on more languishing whips or something like that, or start planning Christmas presents. I have no idea. But it's like, you know what? Slow your roll. It's okay. You need a little bit of self-care. Let's knit on this thing You know you love it. Just enjoy it. Knit every stitch and just like soak it in. Soak it in. Is that too deep? I don't know. I've really loved knitting this shawl. Like, I know it's just, this is very like particular to me, but I would really highly encourage you to go and knit this pattern just because it is so beautiful. Like, look at that lace. And again, like, it shows off your yarn so much. So this takes 2 skeins. So if you've got 2 skeins that just are so special to you and you don't know what to do with them, this is the shawl to do. If you're needing some self-care knitting that just feels good, because you got the fancy lace and you got the goodness of like feeling when you do lace correctly and just seeing the lace appear in front of your eyes and being like, whoa, I did that. That is amazing. I can do stuff. Like, I'm okay. And then you have the relaxing garter stitch and you're just like, oh, I can just chill and I don't have to think about anything, and it's just really nice. This is what this project is for me. And I would hope that that could be something for you as well. So this is the Ziggy shawl, like I said, by Joji Locatelli. She just released it, so it's very recent. It's such a good pattern. I feel like I've been closing my eyes a lot during this episode. I don't know. But yeah, I'm in no rush to finish this just because I love the process of knitting this so much. And I feel like that's a huge testimony to the pattern and the yarn and just everything. I don't know, does that make sense? Yeah, I'm in no rush to finish this. I just want to enjoy every single stitch. Enjoy the process, let it be like a treat yourself moment. That was very, very deep and intellectual. But yes, that is the Ziggy shawl by Joji Locatelli, Living in My Adventure Awaits bag, which my mom very kindly brought me from Colorado. So it's a good bag, it's good yarn, it's a good pattern. Please knit the shawl. You will not regret it. It is amazing. It is truly amazing. Moving forward, okay, we've taken a little tea break. I have a new cast on in my future, everyone. Are we surprised? No. My mom found a sweater that had been published recently by Andy Satterland. I think I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. The cardigan is called Populux. Populuxe. So like popular, but Populux. Very fancy. It's like a cropped, fitted cardigan with some lace detailing up at the top. It is so cute, and she found it, and it was like, oh, well, we really have to make it. We have to make it now. And so we are using Quince & Company Chickadee, which I haven't used in a really long time, but I love this yarn. It is so squishy. And I went a little outside of my comfort zone with my color, and I'm doing Belize. This is this color. It's called Belize, and like, I'm so in love with this color. I can't even tell you how much I love it. I think it's the perfect spring cardigan, but can also be used in the fall and the winter. It's just perfect. I also think it'll be good. I know it's kind of like really bright over here, but I think it's good with my coloring. I think it'll be really fun. I don't remember what size I'm making. I'm so excited about this. So the only thing is I don't know if my needles are currently empty, so I need to figure that out and move forward accordingly. My mom is doing, I forget what the color is called. but it's like a very light mauvey pink. It's so beautiful. Together they look great, and apart they look great, and it'll be fun doing that together. So this is my color. The pattern is called Poppy Looks by Andy Souterland. Souterland? I don't know. She's really amazing at these like very fitted 1950s type sweaters, and she's so cute and makes incredible clothing and just designs in general. I've knit several of her patterns before, but it's been a very long time, and I've been meaning to do one again because they're very well written and have very interesting construction, but in such a way that it like creates a beautifully fitting garment. And so it's a fun like learning experience, and it's a fun adventure. And then you get a really amazing piece of knitwear in the end. So I'm super excited about this. Again, I don't know if my needles are available, but I might have to get some, but I don't know. We'll see. If I have the right tips available in my interchangeables, I might just get cords. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know when this is going to be cast on, but it'll be cast on soon because I do want to wear this for the summer in the air conditioning, because we're not wearing this outside for sure. Too hot. So that is all my knitting stuff that I've done and is going to be new and has been finished. So very quickly, I want to talk about my Languishing Whips progress. So if you are new to the podcast since the beginning of the year, but it's a goal of mine for 2019 to knit at least one, if not two, languishing whips from my collection of whips. And what makes a languishing whip is if it's been on the needle for 6 months or more. And so because it's June, it's the 6th month of the year, we are halfway through the year, which is just insane. But besides that, I wanted to check in and just kind of reevaluate where I am. I did not mark down how many I've done, but I can check that on my Ravelry. I think that might be something for next week. But, so I went through all my projects, which now can fit in one container. I am so excited. Except for my Marled Magic, because I was in a different container, but it's done now, so it doesn't count. Okay. This needs to be updated because it still has Marled Magic and the other one on it. Okay. Anyway. So, in total, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 projects in general. That also includes things that I cast on last week. That is incredible. I noticed for some people, if you're a monogamous knitter, that might stress you out a little bit. But to me, that's just like, whoa, we are doing so great. I have decreased my works and projects significantly. I feel like I've done a much better job about not casting on willy-nilly. I mean, I still have cast on quite a lot this year, but in general, I feel like I've done a really good job. So, in regards to what is a languishing whip and what is not, there are still more languishing whips than there are current project or like recent projects. Does that make sense? I have this all written down. This is the list that I'm looking at. So I have 4 projects that have been cast on within the past 2-ish months. I have 2 projects that will hit 6 months next month. So I'm actually going to wait to work on them. I know maybe that's cheating. I don't know. It's my rules. I could do what I want. Don't judge me. And then for the works in the Languishing Whips, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But so the Multnomah, now Reina Shawl, does fall in that category, so I don't really know what to do about that. I don't know. So it's either 8 or 9. And, like, some of them, there are various stages of finishedness in all of these things. Like, one of these things literally needs, like, the bottom ribbing and 2 sleeves, and then it's done. That's probably the most advanced one. So, but still, it's really great. So if we do the math, because if you know me, I just love doing math. That would be sarcasm. I, in fact, hate math. But again, this is something that, like, I feel really good when I get it right. So we're going to do this now. I should have figured this out before, but we're going to test my spontaneous math skills. Okay, so there's 6 months left. And this is not working. I know this is such an easy equation, and I'm sure there are lots of people who are like, just do this is how you'll figure it out. And I'm sorry, but it's not coming to me how to figure this out, and now I regret doing this while I'm recording, and it's embarrassing. I feel dumb, but we're just gonna go with it because it's okay. I don't have to be perfect at math. And yes, this is an easy equation to figure out, but I just don't know. So if I do 9 divided by 6, which I don't know if that would be it, but it gives me 1.5. Okay, so let's figure this out this way. Okay, so June, we get 2 down in there. So so I'll bring us down to 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if I do 2 projects for the next 4 months and then 1 project in the 5th month, then I will be fine. And I'll have that last month to do whatever I want. Wow, that was much harder to figure it out, and I know there was a way to figure that out in general using a calculator, but no, I have to use my fingers. It's very technical. We're very technical over here. So that's pretty good. I think obviously once it comes August, I will add 2 of those to that list. So then if I did 2 for the next 5 months, then I would have 1 left over in December. I'm so good at math. We'll pretend like I'm good at math. That's not that bad. I feel like I can do that. I feel like I can't do that. I'm not going to worry too much. Like, I'm going to knit on the things. Obviously, I have a test knit, and then I have another one coming up later this month. But I feel like once that test knit is done, I say this now, I feel like once this next test knit is done, I will probably maybe be done for the year. I don't know. We'll see. I say this now. I could change my mind. Because we all know me and test knitting. It's just very spontaneous again. So I feel like it's a very doable thing if I don't cast on a bazillion things between now and December, then I can totally do it. And if I continue to make progress on my current like my most recent cast-ons. If I continue to make progress and just move everything forward, I feel like that would be a good idea. Yeah. I think this is good. It's good. We're moving forward. It'll be fine. So the big goal would be to have like maybe 5. 5 sounds like a really scarily small number, but like that would be amazing. If I only had 5 projects on the needles, like that would blow my mind. I don't think I've ever been in that situation except when I first started knitting. Can we make it work? Can we make it work? I think we can. I think if I work really hard, we can do this. Do you believe in me? Do I believe in me? I feel like I do. I can do this. I can totally do it. It'll be fine. And if not, you know what? Who cares? I've still done a poop ton of knitting, and I've still gotten a poop ton of languishing whips off my needles, and so I need to be proud of that, and I am. Just in the past 6 months. It's like incredible. I finished so many things while doing a lot of test knitting and just knitting my own stuff. So I feel really good about where I am, even if I can't do the math to figure out how many projects I need to do within a month or 6 months to get things done. Again, apologies if that math little snag frustrated you because you knew how to do it and I did not. Hopefully it made you laugh. Just an example of how much I don't like doing math and that it takes me a long time to figure out stuff like that. But that's okay, you know, because that's how I am, and it's fine. So yes, I think I'm very happy about how I'm going with my languishing whips. I know there's still quite a bit left to do, but I feel good about it. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Yeah. It'll be really good. Yes. And also, we can also, I don't know if this would count necessarily because it's still counted in the list of all my current whips, but the spring cleaning shawl is all old stash, and so I think that'll count as a point towards the languishing whips. But since it's already been tallied in like the everything list, I don't really know how that's gonna work. Excuse you, the cat just sneezed. As he do, because he needs attention. And he probably had a scratchy nose. Hello? Hello! You want to come be on the podcast? Nope. He's walking away. Oh well. So sad. So, very quickly, because I know I've been talking for a long time. Thank you for hanging out while I ramble. I know I do that all the time. So for books, I just finished listening to a book called By Invitation Only by someone. I've read this. Please have this pop up at the top. I'm looking at my Goodreads app, which if you're unfamiliar with Goodreads, it's like Ravelry for books, or Facebook for books if you're unfamiliar with Ravelry. So yes, it's a By Invitation Only by Dorothea Benton Frank. It's very much a like a very fluffy, light, quick read that you would bring to the beach on your vacation or something. It has a very feel-good ending. There's a little bit of bad language, I think, but there's hardly any. I really enjoyed it. I listened to it, and I had it sped up because I had a lot of audiobooks to get through at the time. I think I mentioned that last week. So I like ripped through it in like a day or a day and a half or something like that. It was great. But I really enjoyed it. It had a really feel-good ending, and so it would be a fun book to bring on a vacation or something, if you're going to the beach or by the pool or whatever. In regards to TV shows, there is a show that I have been watching on Amazon Prime, or if you have PBS Passport, it's also available on there, or season 3 is. It's a show called Unforgotten, and it's a true crime thing. It's based in London. There are some gruesome things in there because it is a true crime murder show, and there is some bad languages in there as well. So if that bugs you, then I wouldn't advise you to watch it. But if you don't mind that and you really like true crime, murder, mystery shows, it's so good. It's very similar to Shetland, if you've seen that, in that there is one case per series, and so each series or season has 6 episodes, and it takes 6 episodes to figure out what all is going on. I finished season 2 not yesterday, on Saturday night, and it was so good. So good. I would highly recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. I am for sure. So I planned on watching season 3, series 3 on the PBS Passport, because I believe that season 3 is not available on Amazon Prime. So, oh well, that's okay. There are other places to watch it, so it's all good. But I really enjoyed that, and I would highly recommend it if you like true crime murder mysteries. So, Unforgotten, it's very good. So I think that is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and just bearing with me as I ramble about my life and my knitting and random books and everything. I really appreciate you coming back and spending time with me. It means a lot. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. I plan on doing some more just planning, I guess, of how to handle my languishing whips situation. Because I know it's possible. It is totally possible. I got this. It'll be fine. And then also hopefully casting on a new sweater. If my needles are available. See, the thing is I need to cast something off from that list. Because I would rather, now that I've gotten it down to 15, I would like to keep it 15 and below. I don't want to like undo what I've done. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe that's an unnecessary pressure I'm putting on myself. If it would make me happy, then who really cares? I'm doing the knitting. It's my sweater that I'm casting on. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be up to this week. Also continue on with adulting things like organization, kitty litter, laundry, cleaning out the fridge, vacuuming, stuff like that, because that is part of life. But when in doubt, if you are feeling uninspired, put on some fancy dangly earrings and whoosh, you will feel so much better. You feel like you have it all together, and that to-do list is no problem, and you will get it done lickety-split, and you will have the rest of the afternoon to do whatever you would like. All because of these fancy dangly earrings. It's great. Anyway, I'm rambling again because apparently that is just what I do, and I have accepted it, and it's okay. Like I said at the beginning, if you like to follow me on any of my social medias, I don't ramble as much on my social medias, so that might be an interest to you. I'm most active on Instagram, but there's also Ravelry, Facebook, and Twitter. In addition to that, there's also my blog with all the show notes and stuff about the things that I've talked about. Yes. Yes. I think that's all the stuff that I needed to mention. Hopefully next week I would maybe figure out how many I've done, how many languishing whips I have done, and so we can celebrate and rejoice in how much I've gotten done, and it'll be really wonderful and encouraging. Maybe you've been working on your languishing whips as well, and if you've done really great, congratulations, and if you haven't, that's also okay. It's fine. We don't need these unnecessary pressures that we put upon ourselves for things that don't really matter all that much. But if you really want to, that's also great. Whatever works for you, but don't stress out too much about it, because there are so many other things in life to be stressed out about. So we don't need to be adding knitting to that. No siree, Bob. And my tea is still really good. It's a little not as warm, but that's okay because it's still really good. So yes, that is this week. Hopefully I will have just more knitting to show you. Who knows, maybe another finished object. I don't know. That would be really nice. So with that, I guess that is all that I have for you this week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!